Hey everyone, it's me, author Alexandria Infante, coming to you with a new review. So, yesterday we had issues, yes. So sorry about that. I actually had to work, so it was just complete chaos. But anyway, we had to postpone, and we're going to do the reviews today. And today we are starting with author Indy Jones. So I I'm just loving the fact that she calls herself Indy Jones and it's freaking Egyptian mythology. That was so cool. Um, so basically, the book begins with dragons. So that's also cool. So what she does is the author writes, it's a dragon series, and so I'm not sure if there is. I believe there's a second. Hold on a sec. You know me. You know I always have issues because I can't tell you the end. So yes, that's right. Yes. Okay. So basically, we this is the cover. I'm hoping you can see it. My camera's coming soon, guys, and the new video program, so we'll be able to do it the way it's supposed to be done. But anyway, so this is the book. It's called Dragon Lore and Love. And so this follows dragons. I really like this book because of the fact because of how she interweaved the Egyptian mythology. I was so here for this. Basically, the beginning starts with you see a barrage, or you read a barrage of dragons fighting. They're battling. So it kind of reminded me too a little bit of Game of Thrones. And so you see a barrage of dragons and they're fighting. And just one sec. Grab my glasses. Yeah, they're broke. I'm getting them fixed. I'm getting new ones on Saturday. Anyway, and so basically, you get you're following this barrage of dragons, right? And they're basically in battle and they're fighting. And so it's a war and they're fighting against demons. So what happens is the rival clan of the, I believe it's pronounced Umbus, Dragon Clan, one of their rivals basically decides to align himself with demons so he can get the dragon scepters. I can't remember exactly what she called them in the book, but anyway, the whole premise of this book is set on these scepters, and what happens is what I'm taking from it is if you get the scepters and you get to rule. So basically, this is at least 100 years before. And so they go into battle. They're fighting against their other dragons. And Jeb, which is so cool because he uses the Egyptian god Jeb, he's fighting with Nut. Well, not Nut, but Nut is his wife dragon. And so they're fighting, trying to keep their clan intact and basically trying to survive because they are the ruling class or the ruling dragons. And so basically they uh they fight. They're fighting. I'm losing my train of thought. I'm so sorry. They're fighting, and so what happens is Jeb knows he's gonna go down. He knows he will not make it. So what he wants Nut to do is to take their daughters, because at this time they have Nefertiti and Isis as their daughters, and so he tells her not to take the babies basically, and the elderly and the older and the young, and move them toward the divide between human reality and the isle where these dragons live. And so basically he's continuing to fight, and she doesn't want to leave because this is her mate, this is her husband. And so, but she knows that she can't stay, and this is the island that they've lived for centuries. It's basically a dragon island. And so she decides to go ahead and go. And so she takes the babies, her babies, and the younger dragons and the older dragons, and she takes them through the divide, and then they wind up here on the human side. And then the book fast forwards 100 years later, and Isis and darn it, Isis and Nefertis, I believe that's who it is. That's who she uses. They're grown now. And so Isis is pregnant. She's married. Okay, so back in the on their island, darn it, crap. I should have wrote this down, because I'm getting old and my brain goes sometimes. But dang it, I forget the god that was his father. Anyway, Osiris. Osiris is the son of the dragon who decided to do the uprising. And so now you fast forward 100 years later, and Osiris and Isis are together. So basically, they breached the clan. So they didn't care whether, even though his father was responsible for the uprising, and which slaughtered, hundreds of dragons and killed her father, they still fell in love, and they decided to have a relationship. They, bonded, mated, and now she's pregnant with their hatchling. And so basically, it pans 100 years later, and so now it's the same thing over again. Because even though Osiris is like, no, I'm not having that. I'm not going there, because of the fact that I love Isis. I don't care if they have the scepters. I don't care about any of that our parents went through, or our clan went through, because he belongs to the dragon who did the uprising. But he doesn't want to be associated with that. And so he's like, I don't care. I don't want to be with that. And so basically, the dragon that wants him to rebel decides, okay, then you ain't leaving. And then basically, so it's like, if I tell the things of the book, like, this is a really, 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 really good book. I want you guys to go out and get this book. But this is not a romance. Although this is a primarily a romance channel. Remember, we skipped a day, so technically, there is romance in the book, but it's not a romance. She writes like I do, basically. She writes a story, and then she throws in, or at least that I'm not sure if that's how the author considers herself, but that's how I saw it. And so I really liked it because of the fact that it did, even though there's romance in there, it didn't focus on the romance, it focused on the story. And so I like how she weaved in Egyptian mythology. That caught me like right off. I'm telling you, this cover is like, as my son would say, slaps, because you can see Isis and the dragon together. It's like everything about this freaking book I loved, because I teach mythology. This is what I do every day. And so I really, really like this book. I think the dynamics of it, and the fact that she blended this with dragons on top of it, and that it's basically an overthrowing story. And so even though it's not a romance, there's romance in it. There's enough of it in it to keep you, if you are a romance reader, to keep you entailed or entrenched in the story itself. And so basically, you're following Isis and what happens after. Because I will tell you this part, Osiris does get killed. He gets killed by the dragon who wants him to uprise, because he's like, this is This is our clan. They stole it from us, blah, 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 and we need to uprise. And he's like, I'm not feeling that because I'm married to her. This is my mate. I love her. I'm not about all of that was done centuries ago. And so they're basically like, so then you won't be here to see what happens after this. And so they kill him. And then they go to the house. But before they kill him, the one other dragon says something about you're more concerned about your mate than anything else. And then he's like, basically, of course I am. And so then he goes to leave, but then all of a sudden he realizes what he said to him earlier, because when he alighted onto like this cliff or this mountain, where Osiris was sitting, because basically nightly he will go and stretch it, because they don't live in dragon form anymore because they're on the human side. So basically what he will do is he will go and like stretch his wings and fly, and then he lights onto these mountains and he just sits there and looks at humanity and reverences on what his world, I think it's Nesbit, something like that, what their island was called. And he reminisces on that, because out of all of the hatchlings that Nut was able to bring and to take with her, he was one of the older ones. So he remembers what their life was like when they lived on this dragon island. And so this is pretty much what he does every night, and he thinks Isis doesn't know it, but she does. And so he suddenly remembers what he said to him when he first alighted onto the mountain. He said, "Yeah, I saw you come. I saw you leave." Basically, he says something like, "How did you know I was here?" And he was like, "Yeah, I was there. I saw you leave." And then it hits him. Oh crap, he saw me leave. And if he's trying to kill me here, what are they going to do to my mate? So basically he turns to flee. And so he's like, flying away. I can't believe I just went like this. So he's flying away. And so basically that's when they attack him. And so the really sad part is like, see, I don't want to tell you that because I want you to still read it, because even though this happens, I want you to read the book because it's really good. And I'm giving you this as not the author, not the reader, but this is the teacher in me. I'm telling you to read this book because oh my God, it is so good. I just really love this book. I was just like, wow. And she was point on with the mythology and the interactions and the lore and, upper and lower references to Egypt. And, I was just like, because, yeah, I'm fanning over this because Egypt is like, it's my most favorite subject to teach. And then my own series, my own paranormal series, they all stem from Egyptian mythology. So my character, Ariana, she is a descendant of Isis as well. So, basically, I love anything that's in that genre. And basically, this month, my daughter, my middle one, she just got back from Egypt, and so I thought it was so cool because she actually brought me a souvenir from Egypt. I'll show you guys. But unfortunately, it got broken through customs. So knowing how much I love Egyptian mythology, and this here, this symbol of Isis, like with her wings expanded, is my symbol for my book series. And as you can see right here in the front, it says Egypt. She actually brought this back from me. And I was so ecstatic. And then when it came through customs, it got broken. I was like, what the mother darn hell? So basically, I have to find some type of glue to fix it. But just the simple fact that this is authentic and it's actually from, it's from Egypt. And I'm so obsessed with Egyptian mythology and hieroglyphics and all of that. And then I teach it. She's taking me to Egypt this coming year. I'm so happy. Anyway, but yeah. So, just the simple fact that she had incorporated, she had me right there before she even When I opened up the book and I saw Jeb and Nut, I was like, "What? Yes, yes!" So anyway, if I had to start this book once again, it's called. Just a second. Darn it! It went off. It's called. Can you guys see that? Dragon Lore and Love. And it's by author N.D. Jones. N.D. Jones? Indiana Jones? No, I'm just joking. It's by author N.D. Jones. This is not an interracial. It's not an interracial romance. It's AA, so it's African American. Or more dragon. And the dynamics of the book are awesome. I love the characters, Nefertiti especially. That was my girl. And Nut, because she that is the goddess. She's the mother goddess. So I mean, she nurtures and then the fact that she had Isis actually pregnant in the beginning of the book as well, because if you don't know, Isis is the mother god as well. She is the existence between life and death. And although she goes back and forth through the underworld, she's not actually an underworld god. Osiris is her husband, and since he rules the underworld, she goes back and forth. But the simple fact that, she had every last one of these in this book, I just loved it. So now, it is not a romance. It's not a romance book. It is a book. I mean, it's like, it's based on mythology. It's a paranormal because of the fact that, these are dragons. Even though she used the Egyptian godhood, and she used all of these pharaohs and, gods, it's still in the paranormal genre because of the fact that they're dragons and the whole dragon world and the components between dragons and demons, because the demons are the ones who want this scepter. And I can't tell you why either, but because that would ruin the book for you. But this is an awesome book. Everybody should go out and get this if you like, and especially if you like mythology like me. If you're like a mythology buff, you don't have to teach it like me, but if you're just a mythology buff and you like Egyptian mythology, then this is a book for you. I truly believe that you would like this book. And so I totally recommend it. If I had to star this book, I would give it a freaking 4.5. Now, I would give this book a 5 stars because I loved everything about this book, the way it flowed, the characters. And this is a book that everybody can read. That's the whole thing. Okay, I hope no one gets upset with this, but I'm going to say this. A lot of times when you read a book, even though the author has not tried to stymie the book, it will be. It might be like, when it's written, it's geared toward a specific reading group. And so the book doesn't go anywhere outside of that reading group, because when it's written, it's specifically written for that group or that niche of readers. Well, this is one of those books, and especially because she deals with Egyptian mythology, this is one of those books that can go to any genre, any niche, whether it's romance, whether it's paranormal, whether it's white readers, black readers, I'm sorry, readers, Asian readers. This book encompasses everybody. It is a good read regardless of what the race of the characters are. This book, as my son would say, slaps. Seriously slaps. And I recommend this, and I want you guys to go out and get this darn book, because it was enjoyable. I couldn't put it down. This was another book that it's called Dragon, Lore, and Love. This is another book that my boss came in and was like, "What you doing?" And I was like, "What does it look like I'm doing? I'm reading this book." So basically, this was another book that if I had a more demanding boss, I would say I probably would have gotten in trouble. But that's the perks of being the executive chef. But yeah, and then I work for a catering company. So basically, I'm pretty much my own boss. I mean, he's the only person above me, and that's because he owns it. So so basically, yes, please go out and get this book. It's by N.D. Jones, and it's called Dragon Lore and Love. And I'm telling you, you will love it just as much as I did. This book is amazing. And so tomorrow we will actually be reading Kevin Macklin's, or we will be reviewing. Oh, actually, no, I'm so sorry. We will be reviewing because remember we had to step back. So tomorrow we will actually be reading The Billionaire Vampire. Because since I missed yesterday and Jen and Erica both couldn't do it, I'm basically a day behind. So this was N.D. Jones's book review, and now tomorrow we will be reviewing Miss Monroe and her vampire book. So basically, and then Monday, no, actually, and then Thursday, yeah, Friday, yeah, Friday. Because Kevin actually falls under our everything banner. So then basically next Friday is when we will be reviewing your book, Kevin. So you guys stay tuned. Thank you so much for subscribing to our new viewers down there. Thank you so much. And also our gift card, I remember, goes to Luz Rodriguez. Thank you so much for subscribing, and we love you guys. And basically, Luz will check you out over on Facebook and connect you, because all of our groups actually end this weekend. So we want to put more focus on the actual group, the actual review channel, and then my channel itself too, because I'm on YouTube as well. So if you want to know what my books are all about, you can check them out too. It's under Alexandria Infante, and that's pretty much it. We thank you guys so much for continuing to stick around with us, and next week, actually, week after next is when our next prize will come up. This time, it might actually be a physical prize. Don't know yet. We'll have to see. But anyway, thank you so much. Please continue to watch us. And subscribe. Click that bell down there. That way, every time I upload a new video, me, Jen, or whoever. Oh, Jen, by the way, uploaded that video yesterday because, of course, she didn't have to show her face. Anyway, please continue to support us and stick around. Stick around. And for all of you authors out there that we are reviewing, please review your friends. You know, I mean, there's other videos beside yours, so check those out too and give them some love and support, and show them that you support them as well. We thank you, and we will see you tomorrow.